Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, I say that every time, but here we are. So this is the background of a painting, which is now this painting. I did a sort of a collage to fix it because the background had a bit of a catastrophe. Well, maybe it wasn't catastrophe, but it just didn't turn out as well as I had hoped. What actually went bad was this part here that's all black now, but I redid the rocks because the rocks looked good. There just weren't enough of them. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let's get into it. So here I am painting this baby dragon that I made for Comic-Con. I did Comic-Con this year, at the beginning of this year in March. So in February I was painting this little baby dragon. It had a lot of scales, it was very detailed, it was very time consuming, so I spent a lot of time on the little baby dragon before I even got to the background. The baby dragon itself took a whole lot more time than the background did, but the background ended up being the problem for me after all of these little scales were done. So while we're watching me paint all these little scales in time-lapse, I want to tell you another thing that I've been doing, and that is that my website, itstimeforoart.com, was unmanageable for me. So what I decided to do was downscale the website. I got rid of the web store, and instead I'm back to Etsy. So now I have an Etsy site, which is much more manageable. I'm still not selling anything there, but hey, I can add things. Fast forwarding a bit to the background, because I can't think of anything else to tell you about painting the baby dragon and its scales other than that it was very time consuming. This is me painting the rocks. So the reference picture of the dragon had this sort of colorful tunnel, like there was light in the cave coming through from somewhere, and this was difficult for me to replicate somehow with the watercolor. So I guess I gave up on the inner part of the cave for a while and I worked on the outer part, and the outer part, just like the rocks, it went okay. I was happiest with the rocks in the foreground, and the rest of this painting sort of frustrated me. Somehow it just wasn't going as well as the baby dragon had gone. But that baby dragon took so much time to do that I really didn't want to give up on him. So I just kept working and working and working at it. But that's one thing about watercolor. It's really hard to fix. Once you put something down, it's there, and you can't really take it back. It's not like acrylics or oils where you can kind of paint over an area and you can start again. You could even gesso over an area. And so anyways, as you can see, eventually I gave up. I couldn't make the bright colors come out properly, and I just started making all of the area around the baby dragon black, basically, and I felt like it was such a cop-out, but what else could I do? So here is the reveal, such as it was. I was still fairly happy with this painting, and I did go on to frame it and bring it to Comic-Con where lots of people looked at it, but nobody bought it, so it sat in my studio just like this. Until yesterday, when I decided that I was going to cut the dragon out from his background. Then I found a frame that would be big enough to fit the dragon, but not quite as big as the other frame, because I wanted to make this painting a little more intimate. I wanted it to be a small painting for my small dragon all snuggled up in his cave. So I traced around the part that I knew was already painted, and then I tried to make it big enough that it would cover, and I drew some new rocks all the way around because I knew that I could do the rocks. The rocks had been good. So here I am painting the rocks last night. I did get a reference photo up on my laptop to look at, but I didn't really look at it that much. I've painted rocks on a number of occasions in different paintings, and they're not too difficult. I mean, I know I'm not the most realistic painter, but I was happy with the amount of volume and texture and detail that they had. They looked pretty good, and they looked like they would fit with my little dragon and his cave, and really that was all I was concerned about, just to make it work. So after that, I cut carefully around all of the rocks, which was a little bit concerning because I really didn't want to rip the new painting that I had just done. It seemed like just sort of a crazy scheme, and I just came up with it. And I had been thinking about it for a while, like if only I could redo the background somehow for this dragon, because the background didn't turn out right and the dragon took so much time. So anyways, cut out the rocks, and there we go. It took a little time to get it back in there, but when it was done, it was... So that's my story of how I fixed a watercolor. It doesn't always work, but it did in this case, so I'm a lot happier with it. I think my little baby dragon probably is too. So I don't know if that helps, but hopefully it was at least an entertaining story. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!